Welcome to the Business Bravery podcast, inspiring stories from coaches and course creators to help you do the next brave thing in your business. Coming up on the Business Bravery podcast.
Yeah, that's what sold me on Theta healing straight away. They did the muscle testing and I was like hooked straight away. I was like, because I've always, being a psychologist, you always want to know what's in the brain. You always want to know what's going on. You always want to understand it from a psychology, neuroscience perspective. So when I found this tool, I was like, oh my gosh, and you can literally ask your subconscious mind, your brain, absolutely anything, so long as it's a yes or a no. And you can actually tap into whatever that is there, and then you can change it in a holy instant. It's just incredible. And that's how I've become who I am. It was those tools that created it so that I could become the best version of myself. And yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. And it can just happen just like that, which is beautiful. And that's why I'm so dedicated about being the best version of me, because the better I become, the more I can condense into 1 hour. So what used to take me like 10 sessions to do, I can now do in an hour. And my next goal is to actually 20 sessions and condense that into an hour, but I'm going to be taking that a step further and I'm going to be creating incredible well-being centers. I'm planning for one in every single country. And these beautiful well-being centers are going to be for the next generation of children, to support them with well-being, with meditation, with yoga, with animals, with growing your own food, with all the beautiful holistic opportunities that we're now seeking. The children will be able to grow up with, and that will become their norm so they can grow up. Imagine what your life would be like if you could grow up from day one, knowing you could reach your maximum potential, knowing you can be the best that you can be, knowing you can believe in yourself, knowing that you're good enough. Just imagine what your life would be like if you had those building blocks right from birth. We're searching for them now. We're unlearning so many things. But these well-being centers are going to bring like animal therapy. You can rent a dog and run through the forest and just have a dog for the day, and the children can have fun with their families. You know, they can help horses. The horses can help support them with the emotional challenges, because horses saved my life. So I want to share that passion as part of these well-being centers. And it will just be love. That's my goal, is just to bring more love into the world, bringing love into the next generation, so that we can transform the planet. And what I do is I might be helping one mum build a foundation for her baby, overcome fertility problems. She might build the foundation for her baby, but that baby has that amazing support when they're born. And that support has the potential to impact thousands and thousands of lives. So through one person, one client, one video, one like interview maybe, or a podcast, that can actually impact the next generation of children to create the world and make it a better place. So big, big, big dreams.
I'm your host, Tiffany Gilliland, an Australian business and mindset coach with 10 years experience in online marketing and the creator of the Business Bravery framework. I help coaches like you to be brave so you can stop dreaming and start doing that next big brave step and finally make more impact and get more clients. From speaking on camera to selling to launching, my approach to bravery helps you take bigger leaps without the mindset spirals. It's the secret ingredient to bigger results. In this episode, I had the pleasure of interviewing Sarah Studman, fertility coach and miracle baby creator. I think those are my words, not hers. Sarah walks on fire for her clients. She inspires others to bravely step out of their comfort zone and believe in miracles. Anything is possible. Sarah's passion is helping women unlock their fertility blueprint to maximize their motherhood potential so they can bring new souls into this world. She overcame her own infertility, resulting in her miracle baby, and now she is determined to be the person that she wishes she had during her own fertility journey. She learns from the best so that she can become her best self and help her clients live their best lives. Sarah's story is particularly close to my heart because my own fertility journey did not result in a baby, an outcome that I have accepted and has ultimately turned out for the best for me. With that said, this is an amazing episode, and I can't wait to share with you Sarah's stories of business bravery, past, present, and future. Now, who's ready for some business bravery inspiration? Let's dive in. Hi, everybody. I am here with the amazing Sarah Studman from Lucky Silver Linings. She is an amazing coach who I have gotten to know through this podcast, and I'm so excited to record this episode and just get into all of the amazing things that Sarah does. And I'm going to let her tell us in her own words about what she does rather than me mucking it up and all that. So Sarah, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today and to talk to us about all of the amazing things you have going on. Tell us about your business and what brave things you are doing right now in your business.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for that introduction. I feel so blessed to be here, and it's just such a blessing to be able to share my message with the world. So yeah, thank you so much for that. So I'm Sarah. My business is called Lucky Silver Linings, as you said, and I help women overcome fertility problems so that they can create their miracle babies and bring new souls into the world. This has been my calling for a couple of years now, and I'm doing my business full time. And so far I've helped 9 miracle babies, and one was born just this weekend. And yesterday I got a little message from her. She went from like struggling with IVF with no hope. She was premenopausal with a 2% chance of having a baby. And to get that message of this incredible little baby boy that's now born, and she's now a mum. And that's why I do what I do, because of little magic moments like that, those little miracles that create magic. So yeah, I love what I do, as you can tell. And I'm here to change the world, one baby at a time.
Oh man, that is so awesome and so amazing. And just for those of you listening, I mean, Sarah already knows this, but for myself, like my own fertility journey did not end in a baby for me. And for me now at this point in time, I'm quite happy with how that has turned out for me. And going through this process with Sarah has helped to reinforce that I'm kind of happy with how my life turned out, even though it wasn't how I thought it was going to go. And yeah, I love these stories. Like, I mean, hearing about people who just, had such small percentage chance of hope and then they get to hold the baby. Like, I really connect with that and the work that you do. And I'm really excited to find out more things about what you do and how you do it, or and let other people know about that actually, because I've already connected with you and gotten a real look at what you do, and I can't wait to find out that stuff. So yeah, I love what you're doing and so excited to hear more about it. So tell us more, what brave things are you doing in your business at the moment, and for yourself and
Yeah.
maybe for your clients?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things with that certainty and being able to create miracles just transfers to everything in your life. So creating a book, creating a business, birthing, whatever it is that you want to birth, it's so powerful to be able to have that belief like certainty of miracles, and that can be taken into every single area of your life, from soulmates to growing a business to birthing a new version of yourself, birthing the best version of yourself. And that's where my biggest passion is, just becoming the best that I can be, so that I can help my clients become the best that they can be in all areas. Because it's not just about the fertility, it's about the whole lifespan of everything that creates our lives, basically. So I was just saying, one of the things that I did last Thursday, was I actually walked on fire. I attended an amazing seminar with the incredible Tony Robbins, the seminar called Unleash the Power Within. And I'm just so dedicated to learning from the best, so that I can become the best, so that I can show up as the best for my clients, and that I can help them live their very best life. So the last brave thing I did was walking on fire. But yeah, I've done loads of different brave things to create the business. And I think one of the bravest things that birthed my business was I myself struggled with fertility. So I struggled for about 5 years. I went through the heartbreak of thinking that I'd never be able to become a mum. I was so angry at myself, angry at my body. And I hit a rock bottom. I hit a severe depression because the clinician told me that I would never be able to have a baby of my own. And of course, this broke my heart. I'm still feeling the deep emotions that I felt. I can resonate that with my clients, and I can bring that into the sessions. But I was very vulnerable, and not many people talk about fertility. Not many people are open about it. And I myself suffered in silence. I didn't tell a single person. It's just me and my husband against the world. I didn't tell family. I didn't tell friends. And so I felt really isolated. I felt really scared. And I feel like that contributed to my depressive episode. And something just suddenly clicked inside me when I hit rock bottom, and I just knew that I had to do whatever it takes to create that miracle. So I combined everything together to just use it to create my miracle baby. And I'm proud to say that he's now 2.5 years old. And I'm so grateful for that struggle, because that gave me the tools to help my clients, but also with what I do, the vulnerability that I share my story with gives people permission to talk about fertility, so that they can have someone hold their hand through the journey, so that they can have that support, and so that they can just believe in miracles and believe it's possible, so they don't have to suffer alone like I did.
Wow. That is so amazing. Do you mind if I ask you some like more specific questions about your experience? If we dive in, if at any time you don't want to just say, I don't want to answer that, and I can
I'm an open book. You don't ask away.
Well, I'm
If
very
it helps
conscious.
someone, one sentence might help someone. So I'm very open, because
Yeah. I'm very grateful that the people who've agreed to be on the podcast are so open. I'm very conscious that I'm asking about sometimes some vulnerable and painful experiences for people, and I always want them to have the option to just say, nope, too far, you know. So yeah. So like I think I remember like when we had a previous chat to this, and you were telling me about like you were in the the office, and the clinician had said that things weren't like, it wasn't going to happen, and like like what was like that, and then how did you take the steps? Like I know you sort of said it in the overall, but sort of how do you go like tell us about that, so that we can kind of connect with that, and then how did you move forward when the whole world is telling you this isn't going to happen, and then like what was your first steps and things like that?
Oh, that's brilliant. A lovely question. I love that. So yeah, with fertility, it can be very clinical. So they do loads of blood tests. And during that time, I felt like my whole self was being converted into numbers. So I almost became a statistic, and all they saw was this statistic of, this is what it is. And they looked at the numbers, and I didn't understand how I was one decimal place away from being pregnant or having that possibility of a miracle. And I always love that. It's like, I'm one number away from having a baby. I don't understand that. And it was just like, one number made all the difference. And so when the clinician actually so yeah, I really don't want people to be converted into statistics. That's my passion. Don't be a statistic, because 2% to having a baby, statistics don't matter. Define your own statistics. If there's one thing I can tell you, no matter what area of your life, define your own statistic, be your own statistic, and prove them wrong. So I went to the clinician, and I was told that there was no chance I'd be able to have a baby. It was really unlikely. And I remember breaking down on the clinician's floor, like in tears and floods of tears, crying in the reception. And it just felt so cold. It was just like, it was just like, that's what's normally happens. It was just like a day to day, I've got to go to my next appointment. And there was no love. And I think I missed out on that love. And I just wanted someone to just hold me and say, it's going to be okay. And just like, so that was really hard. And at that point, something just snapped, and I heard an amazing story that I think I just realized the power of words and how much it can shift someone. So I decided to take his belief and throw it in the bin. I just realized it was his belief, and I wasn't going to accept it. I was just like, nope, I'm not accepting that. And so I pulled together everything that I knew, everything that I'd built, everything that I'd seen. I'd surrounded myself with miracles before, because I worked with brain injury, and I'd seen people learn how to walk again. I'd seen people defy the odds, defy what people had said, and create their own miracles. So seeing someone that wasn't told that they could walk to being able to run out of the room is just like, I surrounded myself so I could start believing in those miracles. And I'd studied psychology, so I understood how the mindset worked. I was so passionate about the brain, the connections, and neuroscience behind it, and the science side of it. So I brought my psychology, the mindset, into my fertility pathway, I guess. And then I also brought energy healing. So I was passionate about crystals and about meditation, about pranic healing, Reiki. And my favorite modality that literally combined the science and the psychology with the energy healing, that combination was actually what we call Theta healing, which actually just brought all of my knowledge all together in one amazing session. And I worked on myself. I identified the blocks, the beliefs, the shifts that I needed to make. For example, I was petrified of childbirth. I thought I'd die in childbirth. I was scared that I wouldn't be able to have a baby. Maybe I wasn't good enough to be a mom. Maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe somebody would abandon me. Maybe I'd have to do it on my own. So all these beliefs were all triggered. Maybe I'm too old to have a baby. All these different beliefs were all triggered, and I had to identify them and clear them using this amazing combination of psychology and energy healing. And that was the winning recipe for me. And I remember telling my body, I'm like, we can do it the hard way or the easy way, but we are going to have the baby. And I just built this expectancy. Like, I am expecting this to happen. I am in the zone of expectation. I'd visualized my baby. I'd connected with it. You know, I had little reminders on my phone, like, oh, if we're watching telly, where would the baby be? What would I be doing? You know, if I was doing this activity, where would my baby be? So I got into the mindset of being pregnant already. And basically what I tell everybody is I got pregnant in my mind way before I got pregnant in my body. And it's almost like I'd programmed myself to be pregnant, and then all of a sudden my body just caught up with it. And then all of a sudden I was able to get pregnant naturally. I didn't need any of the statistics. I didn't need any of the interventions, because I used my mind to overcome my body, by being guided by my soul, by my love, by my passion, by my love. And I basically loved my baby into existence through my heart and my mind, I guess. Mind, body, and soul connection that changed the world, changed my world, and created my miracle.
Oh man, that is such a powerful and amazing story. And I don't know what it says about me, but you're talking about your baby and me. I'm like thinking, I'm like going through something similar with my business, because like my business is my baby. And judge me for that all you want, but that's kind of where I
resonate with that. They are. It's just birthing something. You're creating something, and you're allowing it to go into the world, and it's very scary, especially at the beginning. Very vulnerable, and it's part of you. So completely resonate. It's all the same, really.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting actually, because like I know from my own experiences of trying to sort of visualizing and trying to bring things into existence, and there's kind of this whole side of like having, you know, like this detachment and not getting too attached to it or something, because then you're like forcing it. Did you ever have anything with your situation or with your experience where there were times where it's like you wanted it too much and you had to sort of step back at all? Or was it this sort of just this easy flow of how did that work for you? Did you ever have that push-pull feeling with it?
Definitely. That desperation. I've got to help people. And I just have this passion, this driving force to try and help people. But of course I was like that. And I wanted to like help desperately, but then I finally realized that actually I can just open my hands and just welcome people in with a hug. And some people will resonate, some people will take them a year, whatever time limit they choose. It's almost like there's something for everyone. And I also created, as part of my business, a structure that serves everybody. So like doing these podcasts, I get to inspire people thanks to your amazing platform. I do like YouTube videos, I do Facebook Lives, I do meditation. So I've got the free stuff so everyone can enjoy the work that I do. And then I've got like the low cost stuff, and then I've got the high end stuff. And it's something that helped me surrender, was the fact that I can help no matter what. And then it's up to them to choose what it is that they want from me. But so long as I've got a platform, I'm really passionate. And, you know, it might just be one word, it might be one sentence, it might be one video that actually shifts everyone. And that might be their breaking point that I had that changes their whole journey. So it's almost like just surrendering, which was hard to start with. But then I got reminded that that's what I had to do with my fertility journey. Initially, I was like, I need to do it. I need to do everything. I need to do it all right. And I've got to do it exactly like this. And it was very like tense because it felt like my life was on the line. But then when I started using the meditation and the tools and the belief changes, I was able to just relax into it. So I was able to relax into my pregnancy. And basically what I had to do was take all the stuff I'd learned in my fertility journey, because I birthed my baby to birth my business, and actually used all of that to create my business. And same with like birth. If you're more tense, it hurts more. So if you relax, it's actually more fun, and you can actually go with the flow of it, and the contractions actually just flow and change. And it's like that with business. But I did have to work on that mindset, because I just was so passionate about helping people. But I realized people have to decide to help themselves, and that's where the results lie.
Oh man. Oh man, that's so amazing, so powerful. So many questions I want to ask. The first one I'm going to ask selfishly, is how what do you suggest for somebody to start surrendering when it seems like the very opposite of everything they have been doing, and maybe the very opposite of everything they want to do, because it is, I don't know, like perhaps a learned behavior to work hard and some of those things. Like I know for myself and even for a lot of my clients, it's like hard work connected to money, and surrendering seems like the opposite of that. Do you have any suggestions? I'm being completely selfish by asking you this.
I love that question. I know, and you asked it at the right time, because I've learned loads from Tony Robbins and some incredible people. Joseph McKenna, I've just learned so much, so I can bring this and try and condense it for you. But one of the things I use is using the Theta healing technique. You can actually identify the blocks that you have. So for example, if you have a belief that I have to work hard for money and business has to be busy, I have to work hard to earn it. So sometimes if you've got those beliefs running in the background, even if it does come easy, you think, oh, that was a bit too easy, I've got to work harder and harder and harder. So you kind of compensate to keep that belief alive. And when that belief comes your identity, so I believe I have to work hard, I believe I have to work hard, then all of a sudden you'll do everything to achieve that identity. So actually, when you shift that, which I use Theta healing, but you can use all sorts of different NLP, there's loads of different things out there. But when you identify, I have to work hard for money, and you get it easily, then you'll find another area of your life where you feel like you have to work hard. So it's almost to balance the scales. But when you shift that, then it's not your identity. My identity is that clients come to me when they're ready, and my hands are open for a big hug when they are ready. But I had to work on that. I had to shift those beliefs, and it's just a pattern, because we're programmed for that pattern. You go to school, you work hard, you get the good results. You go to work, you work hard, you get the promotion. You have to work hard. And that was like the factory mindset where you have to work hard. But now we're transforming to a different level with the coaching place, with the business. It's almost like we have to break that cycle, that pattern. And so it's just finding a way to break that pattern so that you can actually go into the 4-hour work week, which is what I'm striving for. And I can see it. I'm so excited about it. It's going to happen. I can literally see those steps towards that 4-hour work week, in the sense of 4 hours directly with clients, but making such a huge impact on a global scale. And that's what it's all about. And I guess one of the biggest things is just giving. The more you give, the more you get. And the universe rewards you for just showing up and just being you. And the more you can be you, the more you're unique. Nobody can do what you can do. And when you believe that, then you just open your arms, and the right person just comes and gets that hug from you. But the hug's always there. But yeah, some manifesting beliefs as well help with that as well.
Yeah.
But we have so many beliefs around work and money. And when you're shifting from that mindset of employee to running your own business, it's a huge different mindset. It's a completely different mindset. And it's just working on that surrender. It's tricky. It's a muscle. It's like, okay, I feel, okay, surrender. And when you get that, it's incredible. When you actually master the surrender, magic happens. So yeah, worked on loads of beliefs, used Theta healing, used the psychology, built the mindset. And the other day I was chatting to my husband, because I had like 4 clients booked in. I look after my son full time because I love that with him. So I've got like limited time with babysitters. And I was like, I just really want a new client. I've got my 4 clients. I'm loving them, but I just want the 5th one. I just want to shift it. How are we going to do it? So me and my husband had a conversation. He's like, well, let's have a look at the diary. Right, I'll book some time off and you can cover the sessions. I can do a couple of hours here and there. So it's all covered. And then the next moment, I just found myself texting a couple of people. And one of my clients that I'd met on a discovery call a year before was finally ready. And she's like, it's funny that you messaged me at this time. I was actually thinking that I need someone to sort of take me to the next level. And so we had a discovery call that same afternoon, and she was booked in for her first session the next day. It was just like, and it came like, when you surrender, the universe sorts out the stuff, and the person just falls in, and you just have to take that divine action, follow that divine action, and your calendar just fills up for you. And now it's just like, Creator, sort out my calendar, find the right place, and bam, sorted.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, definitely something I'm still working on for myself. Like, because I mean, it's surrendering, but it's not like you're surrendering and you get to just sit and watch Netflix and surrender and wait for the clients to call, right?
Yeah,
It's like there's surrendering, but you're still taking action while you're surrendering the attachment. Is that kind of.
So a good way to describe it is when you order something on Amazon, you don't keep reordering it until it arrives. So I want that, I want it, I want it, want it, want it, want it, want it, want it. You'll get 100 of them delivered the next day. But you choose what you want, you have an idea, you get your results, you do your research. This is the exact client that I want at this point in this, and she has to have availability on Tuesday afternoon at this time, and you set all your details before you click the order button. Once you click it, you know it's going to be delivered next day, or whatever your mindset, whatever your belief is, it's going to be delivered. So you don't keep checking unless you want to cancel that order and put in a different order. You can just have that surrender in the sense of, well, the delivery man will come. This is the process. It's going to happen. And I did that with my new car. I got a new car yesterday.
Wow.
And it was the exact same color, and it was exactly what I wanted. And from when I started manifesting a month ago, visualizing it, I knew exactly what it was, the color, everything.
Okay,
and
come on, tell us what type of car. Come on. I'm not a car person, but at least give me a color. What color is it?
But I knew I had to have a red car.
Oh, nice.
And I just wanted it good for the environment. So I chose a Nissan Leaf, which is an electric car. So we've made the shift into electric.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I literally, every time I saw a red car, I was like, that means I'm getting a new car. Yep, that's the car. I want it red. I want it this and this and this. And I just literally got a mindset that every time I saw a red car, that meant my manifesting was coming true. And I did the Theta healing so that I built that belief. I literally had to work on myself so that I could, build that belief. And like with Theta healing, you used an amazing technique called kinesiology. So you can actually tap into your mindset with what beliefs are actually in there. And you can actually ask your body whether it's a yes or a no, and that's how you can tell. So I had a belief I had a beautiful red car. It was going to be amazing. Every time I see a red car, that means I'm going to be abundant. And I just trained myself trained myself, conditioned myself to have that. And then, and so it was about a month. And then when we found the car, it was the perfect person, such an amazing person. He was so kind. It was the most beautiful buying experience that I've ever had. And he said, I don't know what happened. This car was so reasonable. We've sold like so many cars of this, but it came in about a month ago and nobody has gone for it. It's almost like it was waiting for you. And he actually said, oh, I believe in destiny. So maybe it was waiting for you. And exactly a month from when I made the decision, the car was waiting for me to take action and find it. So it's almost like, getting yourself in such a mindset that it's happening. And then the universe just, lines the path for you so that you can and so I was celebrating yesterday, and the more you celebrate as well, it tells your mind I want more of that. So actually the more you celebrate, the more you acknowledge yourself, the more you receive. So I'm very proud to say I'm an owner of an amazing electric car, and it was meant for me. But I had that belief.
So just so I have kind of got it clear, so you were out driving and you'd see the red cars and you'd see one, and then like you would feel the abundance and kind of visualize, oh hey, I'm abundant, I'm gonna have a red car, like that, the universe. Is that kind of how that went?
And just decided with the universe that was my sign. So every time I see a red car, that's a sign that my car's coming. And the other crazy thing was, because I saw there was a few houses that had a beautiful red car that I admired, and it's like, oh, I love that red car. Oh, that's there. Oh, it's not here today. It must be being driven to my house. And so I had that, and I built it, and I played with it, and I just reinforced it. I did meditations. I used all the tools that I had to really like ingrain it. And funnily enough, the car was actually delivered to my house yesterday, and it was just like, okay, this is exactly what I wanted. And I use that for my clients. I teach those skills to my clients so that they can get in the zone of being pregnant, or they can find their soulmate, they can create their business, because it's a whole lifespan of tools that you can just take on. So it's like a whole lifetime of magic. But when you surrender and you just allow the creator to sort it out, or the universe, or whatever it is that you believe in, if you just allow it and you're just in love, then love magnifies love. And just getting out there, being who you are, shining in who you are. And actually, as you shine your light, it gives other people permission to shine their light. And people can borrow your inspiration, your bravery, your courage. And it's almost like I believe in my client. It is my biggest thing is I believe in my clients until they can believe in themselves. And I use my strength to support them when they haven't got any. But then I also teach them how to have that strength to transform their lives.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow.
Love it. But yeah, fast manifesting. Create
Yeah.
and deliver.
Yeah. Oh man, I love it. I love it. And yeah, can I just ask how how exactly does the theta healing, the theta, and
Yeah,
yeah,
Theta healing.
Australian
Yeah.
accent, yeah, that. Because I know you talked about it was a mixture of psychology, theta healing, there's some kinesiology. Sort of how does that work? Yeah.
So theta healing is an incredible modality that I learned 4 years ago, nearly 4.5 years ago, created by an amazing lady called Vianna Steibel in, I think, 1995. And it's basically similar to hypnosis, where you go into the theta brainwave and you make changes there in connection with whatever comes up. So you go into a beautiful theta state. And the thing with theta is it's what we actually use to learn. So children between the age of 0 to 7 are mostly in theta, which is why children learn so quickly. So it's creating those brain connections. So using a beautiful meditation, guiding you up to connect to the theta brainwave, that gives us the opportunity to transform and shift those neural connections. This is where the psychology comes in, because I love the science behind it, to basically shift your beliefs, shift your, like, the boxes that people have put you in, being able to recognize them. And being in that state, you can actually identify where they came from. So sometimes we carry the beliefs, the burdens from our ancestors. Sometimes it's in the group consciousness. For example, with the recession, people are saying certain things, so we absorb that. And with the television, we just tend to absorb it without even realizing it. So this just gives you a chance to identify what those blocks are. Like, my mindset is, we're the most abundant time. This is the perfect time to have a business. If it's grown in the winter, it can survive anything. So it's just building those beliefs to sort of support you rather than hinder you. And then what theta healing uses is a belief called a technique called theta healing physiology, to actually identify the blocks within your mind. So I'll show you one that's sitting down that everyone can use. But basically, you can just place your fingers like that, nice and strong, not too strong, not too weak.
Just for people
Like
listening audio only,
yeah.
we're kind of like doing an OK symbol, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect. And then just placing your finger at the bottom to, like, closest to your hand. And then just literally saying the words, yes, yes, yes. And then pulling your finger up. And you'll notice how strong your finger is. It doesn't pop out of that circle, I guess. It's hard to explain it auditory. I thought we were just doing videos.
Well, yeah, some people have it audio only. So if you're on audio only, come over to YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, I've got a link
basically,
for this, actually. So if you want to share the link as well with everything, so
yeah,
if you
okay,
I've
yeah,
got a whole video on that, so on YouTube.
nice.
But yeah, and then if you say the words no, 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 and you do the
Yeah,
same thing, your
yeah.
finger will just pop out. So you'll just feel a little pop.
Ah, okay.
Basically, use that technique to identify all your beliefs. So, for example, I'm good enough. You'll get a nice strong one. My business is successful. You'll get a nice strong one.
Yeah.
You can program yourself with I'm brave is a strong one. I love myself. So I've worked on all these, but some of you
Yeah.
might get a pop. It might be different. And then you know what to work on. You can go into the meditation. And then we use that same technique to make sure they're gone. So you do the technique on your own. So I can't, like, manipulate it or change it or anything. So that's why I love sharing these tools, because you test it yourself. And that's what sold me on theta healing, because it just combines everything, and you can just use the psychology, because it's all about the mind, and then bring it into the body and use the energy healing and just create miracles. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
A unique sort of perspective, because theta healing is used on its own, but I just love the science behind it. So it's the science of energy healing, potentially.
Yeah, yeah. I think that very sort of, I mean, for want of a better word, visceral step of the movement. I mean, like last time you taught me one where it was standing and you were like moving like your body forward or back, and you would start falling one way or the other, and it was backwards if it was no, and forwards if it was yes. And yeah, it was just sort of so interesting to kind of find this other way through to maybe your truer thoughts and beliefs that can be even harder to find if you're just journaling or just meditating or some other ways. Like, that's at least what I found really interesting and useful from that approach. Is that part of why, like, what draws you to that? Or
Yeah, that's what sold me on Theta Healing straight away. They did the muscle testing and I was like hooked straight away. I was like, because I've always, being a psychologist, you always want to know what's in the brain. You always want to know what's going on. You always want to understand it from a psychology, neuroscience perspective. So when I found this tool, I was like, oh my gosh. And you can literally ask your subconscious mind, your brain, absolutely anything, so long as it's a yes or a no. And you can actually tap into whatever that is there, and then you can change it in a holy instant. It's just incredible. And that's how I've become who I am. It was those tools that created it so that I could become the best version of myself. And yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. And it can just happen just like that, which is beautiful. And that's why I'm so dedicated about being the best version of me, because the better I become, the more I can condense into 1 hour. So what used to take me like 10 sessions to do, I can now do in an hour. And my next goal is to actually 20 sessions and condense that into an hour, because life's way too short. So if I can get a result in an hour, I definitely will, because then you're going to refer people. So I get to help more people. So it's win-win-win for all. So that's what I'm really passionate about. And that's why I'm so passionate about kinesiology, because the more I clear my beliefs, the more I can help others and see those patterns in other people. So, and then I know how to clear it. So yeah, it just helps. Amazing. But yeah, I love it. But yeah, you can find out everything that's in your mind just with that technique.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, that is amazing. You mentioned just before about how this has made you sort of become who you are. Tell us a bit more about your own transformation with this, and especially like moving into coaching and things, and kind of some of maybe the brave steps that you've taken. I don't know, like, I mean, this work that you do, I mean, you probably don't even consider these things brave anymore, but yeah, like tell us a bit more, like what was it like before? What was your life like before you discovered these tools, and then after? Let's do that transformation.
There's always brave steps every single time. I mean, coming onto a podcast, I've got some huge dreams that are going to be incredible, but that takes me out of my complete comfort zone completely. And I think my motivation is just the miracles that I hear. Like if I've got the 9 miracle babies, they motivate me every single day to show up and be found, because I know, like, my goal is 100 miracle babies. I'm hoping by the end of next year, but I'm going to try and do that as quickly as possible. And just seeing them is what motivates me. But when I started, I was in an employed role. I couldn't find my niche. I couldn't find where I fitted in. And it was really difficult because I had all these amazing skills, but my hands were tied behind my back. So I was only helping people as like based on what I was allowed to. And I found that really frustrating, because I worked with dementia, I worked with mental health, I worked with schizophrenia, I worked with bipolar, brain injury, children, adults. I literally spread myself to everywhere searching for my little place, my little niche, until I realized it didn't exist and I had to create my own. But the beautiful thing is I was able to bring every single thing that I learned, like how you work with dementia, how you create miracles in brain injury, how children develop. I literally was able to condense all of that into what I do. But yeah, I kept searching for the niche, and some of the people, because I'm quite a light, bubbly person, a lot of people struggled with that because they wanted to bring me down, because it's like the tall poppy syndrome. If poppies grow too tall, they try and cut them down because it's easier than having to look at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of people that would kind of push me down and try and steal my dreams and tell me it wasn't possible. And I guess the best way to put it was, I always had a knowing in my heart. I knew that I was destined for something amazing. I knew that I've got a huge mission. I'm going to be changing thousands and thousands of lives on a global scale. I don't have time to hide away. But I had a deep knowing that I was ready to change lives. So I didn't take the no's. So you can exchange all those no's where people tell you, no, you can't have a dream. No, you can't have a baby. No, you can't do this. You can transform those no's into a knowing. When you have a knowing so deep in your heart, you can just follow that instead. And that will be your compass. That will be what guides you. And that will be what transforms you. So yeah, I shifted those no's into a knowingness. And that's what created my desire. But I guess one of the biggest, and sometimes the universe pushes you into different directions, so that's okay as well, because the universe was like, nope, you're not going to be comfortable in a job because it's not destined for you. So I did shrink, I did struggle, I did fight it. And then when I made the decision to go full-time into my business, was the best decision that I could ever have made, because now I get to spend quality time with my son. I get to watch him growing up. He doesn't go to nursery, so I have all that amazing time with him. But then I still get to enjoy my business. I get to enjoy my clients, which makes me feel more happy, which brings it to my son. So everybody's happy, and I do like a masterclass and I'm buzzing, and I get to bring all that energy into my family, which is just so incredible. And I guess my biggest advice, I suppose, to all the people that are listening to this is have a big, juicy dream. If your dream is bigger than you and you know that you have that incredible potential, it will just help you become everything you are to get there. So I sort of ask myself, who do I need to become to be able to achieve this dream? And my big, big, big dream, I hope that's okay to share, is...
We were getting to it. Don't worry, I was going to take us there. But let's go there now. Yeah.
So yeah, a big juicy dream that wakes you up in the morning with that excitement, those butterflies, that that passion. And so my current mission is fertility. So it's helping women create miracle babies, but it's also giving them the tools, lifetime tools, to support those miracle babies, to actually transform them and to share with them everything that they learn. So if they've learned how to believe in themselves, that anything's possible, that they can believe in miracles, they can actually inspire their children to do the same. So it's actually impacting the next generation of children. But I'm going to be taking that a step further and I'm going to be creating incredible well-being centers. I'm planning for one in every single country. And these beautiful well-being centers are going to be for the next generation of children, to support them with well-being, with meditation, with yoga, with animals, with growing your own food, with all the beautiful holistic opportunities that we're now seeking. The children will be able to grow up with, and that will become their norm, so they can grow up. Imagine what your life would be like if you could grow up from day one knowing you could reach your maximum potential, knowing you can be the best that you can be, knowing you can believe in yourself, knowing that you're good enough. Just imagine what your life would be like if you had those building blocks right from birth. We're searching for them now. We're unlearning so many things, but these well-being centers are going to bring like animal therapy. You can rent a dog and run through the forest and just have a dog for the day, and the children can have fun with their families. They can help horses. The horses can help support them with the emotional challenges, because horses saved my life. So I want to share that passion as part of these well-being centers, and it will just be love. That's my goal, is just to bring more love into the world, bringing love into the next generation, so that we can transform the planet. And what I do is, I might be helping one mum build a foundation for her baby, overcome fertility problems. She might build the foundation for her baby, but that baby has that amazing support when they're born, and that support has the potential to impact thousands and thousands of lives. So through one person, one client, one video, one interview maybe or a podcast, that can actually impact the next generation of children, to create the world and make it a better place. So big dreams. Loads of people, need a huge team to create one in every single country. I know it's huge, but it lights me up. And I'm taking the steps today to create that, because with my amazing son, I'm actually going to be homeschooling him. So he will be growing up with yoga, meditation, and I'm going to be designing his own well-being center, so that I can work with what works. So, his PE lessons will be karate, horse riding, gymnastics, circus skills, whatever it is that he wants, maybe even firewalking at some point, fire dancing. And it will just be building on that. And with the history lessons, he's going to be going to care homes and learn it from the people that experienced it. He's going to have firsthand experience. He's going to go to the museums. He's going to be responsible for seeking the information and being passionate about it and choosing to understand the world, and just create that life education, which is just incredible. So I am taking those steps, and it's just one step at a time. But sometimes we forget how much we've done. So we're focusing on where we want to go, and we see that mountain, we're like, I want to get to the top, I want to get to the top, and we really want to get to the top. And we forget how far we've come. We've already halfway up that mountain. We've already taken those skills. We've already, for example, worked with all those different people that I've worked with. Each one of them has taken me one step closer to where I am today. And it will take me one step closer to where I want to be. But we need to take that moment to just reflect how far we've come and focus on the to-done list, because it's the to-done list that motivates us on the to-do list.
And I love that. I find this a fascinating conversation because, like, what you're doing with the wellness centers. And before I forget, when you get to Australia, don't forget me. I want to help
Mhm.
in whatever way I can.
You're part of
And
it.
yeah, whether that's like introductions or whatever. But yeah, I've been talking to a lot of coaches through the podcast and people who, haven't been ready to get on here yet, but they work with trauma. And it's just been really interesting what I've learned. And I know most of the coaches who listen to this are going to know this, because this is essentially what we're doing, is unraveling a lot of these things from those first 6-7 years or something of life. And yeah, it's sort of, I've had a conversation where it was kind of like, well, I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to not have that. And then, like, if you don't have some of that stuff to work through, then I don't know. I mean, like, just, this is my weird way of looking at it, but it's kind of like, for me, it's like, I mean, I like the puzzle of the untangling of some of that stuff for me. But, not that like sort of justifies stuff that happened to me as a kid, some not fun stuff. But yeah, it's fascinating what that could be like for the kids. And yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to
Different
imagine
mindset.
it. Yeah. And like,
It's a different, yeah.
yeah, and like what their life would be like, and would it, yeah, and just, I guess, getting to focus on enjoyment and challenge and growth and creativity. And yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. All of these coaches, there's more and more coaches, they're all having kids.
It's going to be a $1 trillion industry predicted in the
Mm,
next couple of years, coaching, because everyone's searching for these amazing opportunities. It's going to be a $1 trillion industry. I think
yeah.
now it's at a billion to
Mm,
1.2 billion
yeah.
industry. So
Yeah.
it's got a huge potential. And the thing
Mm.
is, it's all down to beliefs. So if you believe you have to struggle to be able to learn, or you can just have that meditation and just learn the skill, it's sort of like
Challenging.
but no,
Mm.
on a serious point, it's
Yeah.
like I find that all my challenges were actually a blessing. All my problems were a blessing, because that's how I created and built what I've built, and that's what's going to motivate me. So I feel like if I hadn't gone through that fertility challenge, it was the big. It didn't feel like it at the time, but
Yeah.
if I hadn't have gone through that, I wouldn't have the amazing tools that I have, that I can pull out and adjust to everybody. I can't like have all the ingredients, so I can create the recipe for each specific client, so that I can condense that 5 years into 5 hours now, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I can condense all of that time into those powerful hours, power hours, I guess. And so the struggle is a blessing, and sometimes we need that struggle, but maybe it doesn't have to be as intense. Maybe it can just be a little thing that they can learn in the day, in the moment. They can create their beliefs and actually transform them quite quickly. So like when I was pregnant, I had all the pregnancy symptoms, but I gave myself 24 hours to experience it. I wanted the whole pregnancy thing, but I gave myself 24 hours. So I had the symptom, I worked on the symptom, changed the beliefs, released it. So I still had the experience, I still shifted it, but I was able to give myself the 24 hours. I had it done, dusted, and that's it. So you can still have, but you can limit it. So it doesn't have to take over your whole pregnancy. You can still enjoy it. And that's just mindset beliefs. It's like, okay, if I'm pregnant, I have to have morning sickness. Well, actually, if you change that, and yeah, I get to enjoy every part of my pregnancy. I don't have to have it. It's not like a necessity. Then you can just pick and choose what it is that you believe using the kinesiology and just shifting it just like that. It's just absolutely amazing. And it's just got such potential, because if I can condense 5 years into 5 hours, I had an amazing lady who messaged me. She had a 6-hour session. I love sharing success stories because it just shows what's possible, even if I go off on a tangent. But she had 6 amazing sessions. So I've always worked on, if I can condense all my life into 1 hour, I'll be happy. Or the learning specifically for the person. And she had 6 sessions, and that was it. And she left, and she was putting everything to work. 6 months later, she said, guess what? I found my soulmate, and we've moved in together. And I thought, yes, we celebrate. We've worked on that for the 6 weeks. That's amazing. 6 months later, she had a soulmate. And then 8 months later, from our last session, just wanted to let you know I'm pregnant. So it doesn't always happen in the session, but 8 months later, she's pregnant after 6 sessions. It still blows my mind. So we're celebrating with a free session as a gift for her pregnancy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you don't always need the struggle to be able to learn the lessons. And it doesn't have to be as intense if you have the belief work in place as well. So the children can still learn, they can still experience it, but they can have the difficulty, heal it within 24 hours. They got the lesson, moving forward. So yeah. So what if your biggest struggles, your darkest days were actually the blessing that motivates you to be the best person that you are? And one amazing thing that Tony Robbins taught me is, what if life's happening for you? It feels like it's happening to you. It feels like you're being pushed in the direction of the recession, the money, this, that. But how is it happening to you? And that's what I invite everyone to reflect, because if you change that mindset, every challenge can be a big, beautiful blessing a lot quicker than if you're fighting against it.
Oh man, definitely something I've been working on in the last few years, that these things come up and they're happening for me, and that's the right one, isn't it? The for me.
Yes, they're happening for me. It's a blessing.
Yeah. And for me, like, I've had the opportunity, it's like, this is going to sound so cliched. I know it's an Oprah thing. She talked about the whispers from the universe, but I feel them more now. Like, it's just like these things just line up in this way, and it's just like the universe is just like, here, let's make this easier for you. And I guess coming back around to what you said earlier about the whole the struggle, the release, or the forgotten the right word for it. Shows you how good I am at this stuff.
Release works.
Yeah, you know what I
mean.
Yeah, what did you say? Yeah, you said a different word, but yeah, that whole, like, for me it's like releasing from the attachment, but you had it in a different, you said it in a better way, I think. But yeah,
I don't remember now. You'll have to listen back. But I guess one of the things is, if you think of a radio station and you've got all that white noise, so it's like shh, and you're trying to adjust it, basically releasing those beliefs is just releasing that white noise, so you can actually hear the whispers of the universe, so that you can actually hear the sounds, and then that just helps guide you. So as we're releasing all these beliefs, all we're doing is just becoming the real you, free from fear, free from self-doubt, free from anything. And self-doubt was the biggest dream stealer. You can have all the dream stealers in the world, but self-doubt is the biggest destroyer of dreams. So as you clear beliefs, you've just become a channel for all this success. And the more beliefs you clear, the more greater the challenge is. So the more you hear messages from the universe, the easier it gets. For example, finding the car, everything just lined up, and I found the perfect person, the perfect experience, the perfect car that was waiting for me for a month whilst I was manifesting. And I felt the whispers of the universe saying, exchange your car, we need to go try and find a new car, go find a new car. And I was like, I'll wait. And then my old car went out with a big bang. The engine failed, and the universe gave me a push, like, you are having your new car, it's waiting for you. So yeah, my last car went out with a big bang. Engine failed. The universe saying, well, you've asked for it, it's here, hurry up and get there. I can't hold it for more than a month.
Oh man, yeah, gosh, this has been such an amazing, powerful conversation so far. A quick question. So what kind of things do you have coming up in the next few months on your way towards your 4-hour work week? I'm still working on the 4-hour work day. So where are you at in terms of, like, because you have like a tighter schedule, how do you manage all of that stuff? And then how are you getting to that, the 4-hour work week?
I've had some struggles. It's like I get so excited about my business, and I sort of usually work on it when he's sleeping. So I get really into something, and then he wakes up, and it's like I felt like I was torn between the two to start with. And then when I made the decision that I have to homeschool him, I was like, I will find a way to make it, condense it, and then anything on top of that is just because I want to. So it's almost like that support will be there, which I'm really excited about. But basically, I think I just started to value, like, every hour is like the greatest wealth. Every single hour of your day, every moment means so much. And because I want to impact so many people, my mission is to create a group program. So actually my 1 hour can actually be multiplied into 100. So actually I'll be able to serve 100 people on my group program, and we'll be able to create such an amazing platform, amazing community. So actually whilst I sleep, the support will still be there. So actually I won't have to hold on to everybody's hands. am just building this amazing community that will actually continue to support people. And all my miracle stories will be coming in to do little like toolbox talks and things like that to sort of share their inspiration with everyone. And once they have their baby, they'll be able to be like have lifetime membership to this community, so they can like cheer everybody else on with their success stories. So my big plan is to have this amazing group program, which will be like weekly sessions, so I can multiply my 1 hour into 100. So, you know, it's like a time machine. I can help 100 people. I can like multiply myself into that. So that will be my 1 hour a week. And then I love doing one-to-one sessions, because you really get to know someone, you get to really connect with someone, and you get to celebrate and really have that deep connection, and you get to really like adjust it. So I love like changing the, like it's quite a nice juicy challenge when someone brings you like, I want to make this cake, and you have to think of all the recipes and how many quantities, and you have to think about what coaching skills to use and what meditation and what psychology, and you kind of create this beautiful plan. But then you get to know them and celebrate with them. So like my oldest miracle baby, one of the first ones I helped, she's a year and a half now. Yeah, I think she's a year and 8 months. So I get to like really have that connection with her and watch the baby grow. So it's nice to see that whole journey. So I don't want to give that up. So yeah, that'll be 2 hours. So I'll have my two clients, one-to-one, and maybe more if I choose. But this is like the basic business plan. But yeah, if I find the right ones, I'll always obviously extend that, because I like working with people. And and whenever I get that wow factor, I'm like, yes, I'd love to work with them. Yes, I could work with them for free. That's my like yes factor. And if that's the person, then yeah, they'll fuel me, they'll fuel my family, they'll make me a better person. So yeah, I'll always take on like if they hit that factor. And then I'm going to be doing loads of podcasts. So I'm going to be starting off with being a guest like today. So I've started my first ones today. I'm going to be a guest on the podcast because of limited time. I can't always edit my own ones, but I'm going to be like loads of guests so people can find me, then they can filter into the group program. I've also got an online program so people can help themselves whilst they sleep, so they can go through the fertility blueprint, so they can prepare themselves for the online program, the group program. And then from the group program, if they really like want to step it up a bit, they can have me on tap for like a month, 3 months as part of the one-to-one coaching program. So basically it's sort of styled so that I can make money whilst I sleep. I can build a community to support and do the work whilst I am sleeping. And then I could do the one-to-ones that keeps me awake and lights up my soul so that I can be more for everybody else. So it just works beautifully together. And then I'm going to hopefully build up a team so that I can start interviewing miracle babies, miracle mummies. So I've got a few so far. I interviewed an amazing lady who had a prem baby who was born at 30 weeks. And he's a year now and he's thriving. So she's sort of sharing her success story, and that will give people support. If they have a prem baby, they can access this miracle channel to sort of submerge themselves in miracles so that they can believe in miracles, so that they can become their own miracle story, so that I can add them to the podcast and they can help other people. So it's like it's a perfect circle. Otherwise I'm going to need a bit more time to work on that one, but I just love it. I love just hearing people's stories, and it inspires me to do more. So yeah.
Wow, that is a huge, amazing vision, and I know you're going to execute it. Are you fitting all of that in the next 3 to 6 months? Is that how your stuff is going? Because I mean, like you said, you're collapsing time a lot, and 10 hours into 1 hour. Is that how things are working for you in the execution of your business, or is that just, or is it going to be maybe a few steps towards some of that? Or yeah, if you don't mind me.
Yeah, I can feel it happening. Like I've given myself a 3-month deadline. My son is going to start a bit of nursery in September, so that will give me a little bit more time. But the online course is already set and ready. So it's just marketing that and bringing people into that, so they've got a platform to start with anyway. So that's beautiful. I've got my one-to-one clients that just inspires me and teaches me as well. And collapsing time, I'm so into the development, self-development and personal development and anything that can develop me. So that's why I attended the Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. 50 hours, 55 hours condensed into 4 days of like, you're still going at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't think I've done like more like 30,000 steps before. I haven't like pushed myself over the limit. And just when I'm about to drop, I suddenly found another boost. And it's just teaching the clients and everybody to do that. So I'm always searching for those tools. So I feel like it might not be the 3 months. It might be just those 6 weeks that create the miracle baby. And I'm determined to just try and condense everything I can into one session so that people will refer. If you get a result in an hour, just think of how many referrals are going to be spread, and actually how many more people I'll be able to help. So that 1 hour will be impacting more people, which means I'll be able to sort of spread the word to even more people. So there's different stages, but the group program's in the pipe work, so that's going to happen. So I'm just filtering everyone into the online program, and then September will probably be the group program will start.
Oof, wow. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I love that. And it definitely challenges me to think about things in a different way, just talking to you and just seeing how you have the plans and everything like that. And I love that. And
just make business fun. If you make it fun, if you play with it, if you dance with it, you're going to have mistakes, but mistakes are opportunities to learn. And successes are opportunities to motivate you. So both of them are perfect. And you've just got to readjust, assess it, readjust, assess it, readjust, assess it. And that's my plan now. So I know where I'm going. That's my destination. But as things shift, I might shift things. For example, I'm going to start a 4-week group coaching program. And then I'm going to build that onto like several masterclasses and boost that. And then that will grow, and that will grow as the community grows. And as my son grows and becomes more independent, that will also grow. But keeping it simple as well, so people know where they are, where they can go, and just know that they've got the free stuff, they've got the online course, which is low cost, they've got the step up, which is the group program, and then they've got the high end, which is me on tap, basically, or me for the 3 months. So it depends on how much and how quickly people want to transform as to or what they need. Some people just might need a video or might need this one podcast that changes their lives. So once you realize that, you can just surrender it. And the clients that have found me, it's just, I found a client at the circus. She's the one who had the 2% chance of having a baby, and she's the one who messaged me yesterday that she's had a baby. Got the pictures on there. It's just like, I met her.
You found her at the circus. Tell me that story. Come on. I love these kinds of stories. Some of this stuff's been happening to me recently. So tell me this story. I love it.
It wasn't an official circus. It was circus school. So I taken my son only twice. I only took him twice, which was really bizarre. She wasn't there the first time, and they said that she was unwell. So I just got chatting. I said, "Oh, I heard you were unwell, so I needed to come back and just wanted to connect. Are you okay?" And for some reason, though, she hadn't told everyone about her IVF journey, but she says, actually, I was off away. I had IVF. And I was like, funny that. I'm a fertility specialist and an expert in that area. What can I do?
Wow.
And we got chatting and connecting, and we met, and just seeing her, like, we went for a lovely meal and celebrated everything. And she was about 28 weeks pregnant. And going from that point of meeting her where she had no hope, I taught her muscle testing. She was hooked. That's like my little love of my life. I did all my masterclasses and my meditations. I just really, really, really wanted this for her because, after so many failed trials, she was really struggling, and the doctors were giving up hope. One of them said, "There's no point in trying. But the only reason why we're doing it is because you've already started it, but there's no point." And I was like, just take all those beliefs, throw them in the bin, and create your own.
Oh man,
If you're not of your mind, someone else would take over it.
Absolutely. Man, doctors and their weird approach to everything. Like,
there's some incredible doctors that have changed my mindset. Like, doctors are looking out for these things. They're searching. But there's just those odd ones that shift. I mean, science is incredible. To create a baby in a test tube, it's like unbelievable what science can actually do. And all those inventions can really support us. And for me, it's like however the baby comes in is a miracle. I've even had, like, I'm going to be interviewing someone about a surrogate baby, so someone else grew her baby for her. It's just like, that's an amazing story. I've lost track of what I was saying now, but so you can meet clients everywhere. And seeing her, like, my son was fascinated because he's like, there's a baby in there. She's like glowing pregnant, and it just had that wow factor of, oh my gosh, what if she hadn't met me? What if I hadn't had that conversation? What if I hadn't helped her with the meditations and mindset so she could relax into her pregnancy? It's just like, that's why I've got to show up. That's why I've got to attend these podcasts. That's why I'm throwing myself into the deep end. And I feel like I'm going to be doing a huge talk as well to thousands of people. So that feels like it's in my vortex now, which I never thought it would be, but I used to be
like
really
a TEDx type talk, or like something like a fertility or medical conference or something? I'm like, look at me trying to put some structure to it.
I'm going to leave it up to the universe. The universe has planted a seed.
Yeah.
And my divine action tells me that I just need to get onto podcast interviews, whatever I need to do to build up that strength, that momentum, that confidence, because it feels like it's taking me to somewhere. I'm just getting these little glimpses from the universe. I'm like, are you sure I'm ready? You never feel ready. Just say you never feel ready. You just feel the fear and do it anyway. And sometimes that's where the biggest blessings come from. Those are the like shifts that change your whole business. And there's so many of those. It's almost like met one person that shifts everything. We meet a client and that shifts everything, and you think, oh, this is possible, and it just grows you. So business in itself is a personal development journey. And if you see it that way, you're just constantly growing, you're constantly learning, and clients find you. All you have to do is shine up, show up, be the light, become everything that you are and more, and become the best version of you. When you're in that state, the creative ideas just come, and you're like, what if I could interview these amazing celebrities? What if I could create this amazing channel, which is going to be filmed? So this is the beautiful thing about Theta healing. You get glimpses of the future. You get glimpses of what is possible, these different things that are available to you. And you get to just choose like a buffet. So I feel like, I'm going to have like a film crew when I do the miracle stories. And I feel like it's going to be huge and big. And it scares me, but it also gives me the butterflies. And it also reminds me of how many people I can impact. So my mission is to impact as many people as possible. And then financially, the abundance just comes. You just get rewarded for just showing up and being the best version of you, giving your all, giving your everything, and just trusting.
Oh my gosh.
Trust in yourself, trust in the creator, and trust in the process. And possible.
Oh man. Gosh, this has been so amazing, and there's so many things that I want to say, but I'm conscious of just how much of your time that I've taken up and things like that.
I'm loving it, so you can ask as much as you like. It's still practice for my thousands and millions of people that are going to be impacted.
I mean, because part of what I wanted to say was like, I'm feeling some of those whispers too. Like in the last few days, I've been feeling like me on a stage. I don't know about thousands, but me on a stage in a big room in front of a lot of people. And and I'm not freaked out about that anymore. The joys of a podcast and that whole, connecting with people and talking to people and just being more, available and out there and things like that. I don't know, I think that's kind of the right language. I don't enjoy using the word visible and getting visible, but
shining your light.
And just for me, it's just like a lot of it's just about like genuine connection. And like I'm even running a challenge to teach people this stuff, because for me it's all just about like, who am I going to meet today? And it's about focusing on others, and that just really lights me up in terms of just talking to strangers on the internet.
So, when it does light you up, people can see it, people can feel it, and it's almost like sending people a hug. It might make their day.
Definitely.
Like every time I talk about my like idea to someone else, I'm like, oh, and I can do this, and it lights me up, and then I get more creative and I come up with more ideas. So, beautiful. It just changes the world. Absolutely. And funnily enough, 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe, I hadn't even done a Facebook Live. I was absolutely petrified of doing my first Facebook Live. Must have been about 2-3 years ago. And so I was like, all right, I'm scared of it, so I have to do it, and I had my big image in mind. And then I created an online course of like 50 videos. No, sorry, it was probably, with all the takes, it was probably about 100 videos. My husband edits them all. So we've created an amazing online course called the Fertility Blueprint, which is just amazing. And seeing like how far I came from like those first few videos, my biggest like advice is just do it until you're good at it. You don't go to the gym one day and think, oh, I can't lift that 80-kilo weight. That's it, I'm done. You start off small, you do little bits until you get there. And then suddenly you're being interviewed on an amazing podcast about bravery.
Oh man, actually, that's similar to my own journey, because I mean, for me, it was more years ago that I got on video and things like that. But Yeah, I started out trying to help people get on video, help other introverts to get on video, but before video was cool back in 2017. And the introverts were like, no, not the right offer, not the right time, not my thing. And yeah, then I moved into more helping people with content and stuff. But now with the Bravery thing, I've come back around and now I'm helping people with the video again. But because I'm talking about Bravery, I've like attracted the right people and it's clicking. So like I help, you know, people with that. And also I was talking to someone today, a potential client, and helping her with her content stuff and just being brave enough to post and some of that stuff. It's just, yeah, when it's centered around bravery, I get very passionate about it. And yeah, like it's like those small steps. And I was telling her the same thing. It's like, yeah, you're going to post. They're not always going to be great. Like this is how we build up our skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're authentic, people just forgive you for it. It's like if you sneeze or cough or whatever, you used to be really paranoid about it. And you just integrate it into your talk and you just become everything you are. You're authentic. People can feel your love. And actually people resonate more with your love than anything else. So if your heart's open, doesn't matter what you say sometimes.
Yeah.
It makes such a difference. And it's those brave moves that builds courage. And it's that courage that takes us to our dreams.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Gotta remember that. That's going to be a snippet.
We have to, it takes courage to dream in this crazy world of you have to fit in a box. This is what you're going to do for the rest of your life. This is your career. It's hard to have a dream because we're told not to. Don't be so silly. How can you think you're going to change the world? You're just one little child in one little room and the teacher tells you something. So it's really, it takes a lot of courage to even have a dream of like running your own business.
Yeah.
And it takes a few people to be your cheerleaders and support you. And like you're doing with your clients, you're building that bravery muscle so you can teach them how to build their bravery muscle and actually help other people do the same. So it's almost like as you change yourself, you give permission for other people to be brave. As you dream, as you believe in your dreams, you give other people permission and strength and the ingredients to build their dreams. And that's what creates magic in the world.
Oh, man. So many powerful things.
I'm gonna have to listen to this again and like copy copy some of the statements. It's like yep, I said that, Sarah, 2023.
Man.
Start my own quotes. I mean, the words just come and it's just beautiful because I'm coming from my heart space and I'm just me. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing that I realized, so I've got so much to share. I hope it's okay. You can just cut it, whatever. But one thing that really changed me was the statement, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Because everybody likes cup of tea differently. There's 1,000, I worked as a carer for 5 years. There's 1,000 different ways to make a cup of tea with milk, you know, sugars, how strong it is, how much milk's in there. There's thousands of ways to make a cup of tea. So you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay because not everyone's the same.
Oh man, gosh, I wish I'd have heard that when I was younger. I definitely, yeah.
So do I wish I was me. Like,
yeah, the people pleaser in me was just and the conflict avoider and all that sort of stuff. I just, you know, it was my whole attitude to life for out of survival was, how do you like your cup of tea? I'll become that. And then how do you like your cup of tea? I'll become that. And
people just don't want to be happy. They'll find everything they can to not be happy. So if you're that person trying to please them and they don't want to be pleased because they don't want to their life, it's interesting. But I've been there and I can resonate because I was there. That's why I resonate so much. And that's why I wish I could go back in the future and tell my little self that, which you can do in Theta healing, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
But the beautiful thing is I'm going to take that one step further. So you've got all these different cups of tea. Everybody has a different cup of tea. Everybody's different. Everybody's unique. But what if they don't want a cup of tea? What if they're looking for champagne? Maybe you can be the champagne that they're looking for. So maybe you don't even have to be that cup of tea that they're searching for. Some people just want to drink champagne. So invitation to you. Maybe you just want to be that glass of champagne.
Oh man. Oof, okay.
Wine or beer, whatever it is that you want to be, you know, coffee. Some people like coffee. You can just be your own brand, your own gift to the world, and none of us are going to be the same. But together, there's no competition because there's all collaboration, and that's how we make the world a better place.
Oh my gosh, wow. Oh, I love it. Okay. So I have one last question that I ask all of my guests, and that is, if there is somebody listening to this podcast who they've got their next brave thing in mind, but for whatever reason they're stuck, they're not ready to take action, they're not feeling brave enough to take the leap, what would be your suggestion for them? What would be your advice?
I'm not allowed to just say, just do it.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
What helped me the most was feel the fear and do it anyway, because those moments are what shape your destiny. So those decisions are what actually shape your destiny, what actually transform who you are, who you're going to become, and what you're going to have in your life. So it's those moments of decision that literally shape your destiny. And yes, you can have that, what you've always, if you keep doing what you're always doing, you're always going to have what you've always had. But if you start doing something different, then your life is going to be absolutely amazing. And sometimes it's just ordinary people making extraordinary decisions that makes them extraordinary, and life changers and luminaries and people that are going to be those leaders that shift the world. So maybe that's you. You don't know your maximum potential unless you try, and only you can make that decision. Only you can figure it out. And that's what makes the difference. And that's what I had to do. And then my second answer to that is walk on fire, because once you walk on fire, you can do anything. It's like if you achieve the greatest thing, if you can walk on fire, you can do anything. So challenge yourself.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get back to the walking on fire. Like, this was supposed to be something I was going to talk to you at the beginning, and there were so many other cool things. Okay, tell me about the walking on fire. Like, I obviously know Tony Robbins for decades and people do the walking on fire. I've heard some of these stories, but what was it like for you? And yeah, like, just tell us your experience with that, please.
Oh, it's amazing. He uses some amazing techniques to build up your bravery muscle, which we probably don't have enough, like we don't have 5 days to share it, but he does talk about a lot of things to build your bravery muscle, to prepare you for that state. And you have to get into such a state, such a beautiful, powerful, amazing state, which is just actually you. It's just getting you into you and like getting rid of all this stuff that you've been carrying around, all the burdens, all the other people's beliefs, other people's expectations, all the self-doubt that you've been carrying on your shoulders. It's about releasing that, becoming the very best version of you, being in such a powerful energy that you can achieve anything, and then just getting into that state, you really can achieve anything. And that's what really happened. And one of the things that he did was actually notice how much you've done in the past. Like I've got a distinction in my master's degree. That was a huge achievement with the crazy that was going on at the time. I had my miracle baby. I brought new life into the world, and that really shifted everything. I was born, like that's a miracle in itself. I learned how to walk. I learned how to become me. I learned how to fire dance. I can actually fire dance as well. So that helped with the walking on fire. But I do push myself. I do like try to find out what my biggest potential is, because if I don't do it, nobody else will. And then there comes a time where you actually you define what's possible, and you create that. People might tell you it's impossible, it's impossible, it's impossible, but actually you can make it possible. And when you prove it's possible, everybody else can say it's possible. Nobody thought we could invent airplanes. Everyone thought that horses were the way to go. That was it. They thought the world was flat. They thought we could never have cars. And now I've got a beautiful electric car that I love called Destiny. I've called her Destiny. It started off with a dream. And if somebody didn't pursue that dream, we might not even have electricity. We might not have Zoom. We might not even be having this conversation. So my advice is go for it. See how far you can come, because we can reach our fullest potential, but then the potential changes. So we're always growing. So it's like a catch-22, because we always want more. We are part of the 1% of the population that want more, that want to be more, become more, so that we can give more, and so that we can become the best that we can be. So I guess part of the bravery is finding someone to hold your hand, because you can go in the car, you can have the sat nav, You might not know the destination, so put the destination in, know where you want to go, the well-being centers, the miracle babies, 100 miracle babies. So know where you want to go. So put that into the sat nav. And then you can have someone tell you the directions and hold your hand along the way. So you can decide how fast you want to get there. You're in the driving seat of your Ferrari or whatever it is, or your Nissan Leaf. You're in the driving seat. You can decide how fast you want to get to your destination. You can go the slow way. You can go round and round and round, get lost along the way, go over here and then decide to go over there. Take a couple of, 5 years to get there. Or you can find somebody who's done it before and they know that you can actually get there quicker than they ever did, and they'll show you the fast route. They'll show you the motorway when you've been going down all these country lanes and not knowing where you're going. And sometimes it can be lonely if you're doing it on your own. Sometimes you don't feel like you've got that team, that support. When you're having those bad days, you need someone to hold your hand and say, it's okay, we're getting there. Think of your to-done list. We're getting there. Think of how far you've come. We're getting there. Don't worry, you've already done this much. And that pushes you forward to your destination. That gives you the fuel and the passion to get to your destination. And that's what makes the transformation. But the beautiful thing is that success leaves clues. So if you find someone that's really successful, that has what you want, they can teach you the quickest way so that you can actually get there in an hour rather than decades. They can condense all they know into that 1 hour that can shift everything. And you're still responsible for the car keys. You're still responsible for how fast you drive. You're still responsible for following the GPS. But the quickest route there, and you can get there and start enjoying your best life, enjoying that destination as quickly as possible. And that's why I learned from the greats like Tony Robbins. He went from absolutely nothing, not even being able to afford food, from his family having 4 dads, struggling with his everything. He's went from rock bottom to the most incredible, inspirational person that you'll ever meet, and he's humble, he's authentic, and he's just got such a passion for you, for everybody. And when you align yourself to people like that, you can get there so much quicker, which was why I'm dedicated to improving myself and actually have high standards for yourself and have high standards for the people around you, because proximity is power. So surround yourself by people who are making those big moves and making those shifts, becoming the best versions of themselves, because they'll pull you up. You can borrow their energy, their strength, their bravery, their courage. And that's how you get to the destination as quickly as possible, because life's too short to mess about. If you can get there in a day, enjoy the destination, enjoy your life, and become the best version of you. And just remember that I believe in you. It's possible. And I'm here to prove that it is. And that's my destiny. Whatever part of your life, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, it's possible. So I believe in you guys until you believe in yourselves. And I invite you, I challenge you to test what's really possible of you, because that's how we reach our maximum potential. And 99.99% of humans don't reach that because they're not brave enough to take that first step. So I invite you to take that first step and take another one until you get to that destination of your best life.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I feel like I should be doing applause or something. I'm doing it anyway.
Oh,
I love it.
Tony Robbins, always celebrate.
Yes,
Your body knows it rewires your brain. So, as you're running, celebrate, because that wires your brain to find more things to celebrate.
Yeah.
Oh,
love it. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for all of your amazing time and all of the amazing things that you have shared with us today. I can't wait to actually edit this episode so I get to listen to it again, because there's just so much good stuff. So thank you. For the people who are listening, we of course will have links to all of Sarah's stuff in the show notes, and I might even con her into showing us a picture of the car, because it's been such a thing too. But for those who don't
celebrated, it's just
but for those who don't want to go clicking here and there and everywhere, can you just tell us where can people find you very quickly if they want to get in touch with you?
So I like to keep it really simple to avoid complexity. It's nice and simple. If you just go on to www.luckysilverlinings.co.uk, I'm there. I'm ready for you, and everything's on that one platform. So www.luckysilverlinings.co.uk. And I chose that name because I know we go through storms. I know there's loads of thunderstorms. Sometimes we don't see the light. Sometimes you don't have that hope. Sometimes it's raining constantly and we're in that darkness. And so I chose this name because we're lucky that we're alive. We're lucky that we're miracles. But also I love helping people find that lucky silver lining, because through the storms, we can see the light. Through the light, we can become the best version of ourselves, and we can live our best life. So that's my story about lucky silver linings. So hopefully I can bring you guys a lucky silver lining, and hopefully this podcast has as well.
Yeah. And yeah, I also just want to sort of like suggest too to anybody listening, if you know somebody who is struggling with fertility or something like that, like I just know, like hearing some of what Sarah has talked about, there's been a few times in our conversations where I've been like, oh man, if I'd have found you like 10 years ago when I was going through this stuff, yeah, like my story may have been different, or it may have been the same. I'm actually quite happy with either way, but just, yeah, if you happen to know of anyone or in that realm, I think definitely send them to Sarah for a conversation, because what she does is amazing. And yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And if you guys want to create a wellbeing center in your country, just let me know as well. You might be the designer of it in the franchise, whatever it is. You might be helping me create this magic. So yeah, change the next generation of children.
Yeah, I love that.
Just in a day's work.
Well, it's going to be in an hour or 5 minutes by the time you.
But you've got to believe it to achieve it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is amazing. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of such an incredible podcast. I think this podcast is something that we really need, and it's that bravery that we really need to inspire. And through us in sharing our stories, I really think that it will help everybody else have permission to be brave, or learn how to be brave, or be inspired to become the best version of themselves. So Tiffany, thank you so much for creating this platform to inspire others, to transform lives, and to help us become the best version of ourselves, and help us inspire others. And yeah, it's very brave, and you're an inspiration to all of us.
Oh, thanks for listening to the Business Bravery podcast. Has this episode inspired you to do something brave? Even if it's only send a difficult email, please share it with me on Instagram or other social media channels. Feel free to tag me at Tiffany G Studios. That's TIFFANY. G for golf, STUDIOS, no spaces, no underscores, etc. Or you can use the hashtag Business Bravery Podcast so that I can cheer you on, and together we can inspire other coaches and course creators to do brave things in their business and life. Now, I'm Tiffany, and I'll leave you with this one last thing. What's one brave thing you're going to do today? It doesn't have to be big. Even the smallest steps can create the most massive results. So again, feel free to share it with me either publicly or privately so that I can cheer you on. That's it from me. Until next time, bye for now.